First Amendment right.
Like, what would happen?
Okay, you can't.
Come on, really? Seriously? Yo.
Oh, you better not, boy! You better not!
Okay.
So what part of our systems is for people of color?
All of it. The entire system is for everybody. Anybody who's an American citizen.
Charlie Kirk being killed, HBCUs were targeted with bomb threats. Now, a MAGA hate group decides to go to Tennessee State University.
All right, guys. So these white kids who obviously supports MAGA went to TSU to debate, not to fight, not to start chaos, but to actually sit down and have civil dialogue. You know, the exact thing that Charlie Kirk always preached about. And you want to know what happened? They were actually doing it. They weren't screaming. They weren't throwing insults. They were literally saying things like, we believe everybody is equal, but we just disagree with DEI. But somehow, some way, that turned into them being called racist. And when you see these clips, you're not going to think you're watching a college debate. I kid you not. You're going to think that you're at the zoo or on somebody's block in the hood somewhere, because that's how erratic and out of control these so-called college kids were acting. Now, don't get it twisted. They were being encouraged. The university encourages this behavior. Their professors encourages this behavior. And I bet you the parents encourages this behavior too. And they're waving around BLM signs like that isn't one of the biggest scams in America. Like, quite literally, who is teaching these children? Because whoever is doing it needs to be fired, okay? They can't even freaking engage in debate. What are they going to school for? It is disgusting. It is disgusting that young people in 2025 sitting in college classrooms still think that screaming, yelling, and throwing tantrums is a way to win an argument. And to be clear, this doesn't advance the Black community. It does quite the opposite. And I don't know why y'all keep trying to pick fights with white people as if this is a fight that you're going to win. So today we're going to get back into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am Carmen JC. If you're new here, make sure you hit the like or subscribe button. Or if you want to support the channel, hit the super thanks or the buy me a coffee link below. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we're going to jump right into the news coverage on this. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Members of Fearless Debate say they were just trying to create conversation and discourse on Tennessee State University's grounds.
But the NAACP's Nashville chapter says the group came to campus with rhetoric aimed at provoking and demeaning students. News Channel 5's Aaron Cantrell tells us how the fallout is having a big impact.
Because this incident has gone viral, it's sparking strong responses from not only students, also alumni, advocacy groups, and beyond. The group behind the Fearless Tour, a grassroots organization inspired by the late Charlie Kirk, says it's bringing honest conversation and open debate back to America's college campuses.
And I would say getting rid of DEI works towards that objective.
On Tuesday, the conservative commentators entered Tennessee State University, a historically Black college without permission, according to officials, bringing a table, microphone, and inflammatory signs, sparking outrage from students. Campus police and staff responded, removing them from the property.
Okay, now here's the thing. These kids came here to have a conversation, and I think that's amazing because that's what we need to do more of. We need to find ways to bring the Black community and the white community closer together, because the reality is the Black community is so hateful, so entitled, so mean-spirited that they refuse to engage in real dialogue. And the thing is, the debate started fine. It was civil. They were exchanging ideas and talking. And if it had stayed that way, honestly, I would have loved to see more of this on both sides. Black students and white students coming together to hash things out. That's what growth looks like. But instead, of course, it turned into chaos. And that right there is the problem. But before we get into the chaos, I want you guys to look at the debate before things went off the rails. So go ahead and take a listen to this clip.
So what part of our systems is for people of color?
All of it. The entire system is for everybody. Anybody who's an American citizen.
So you feel like there's nothing. So you feel like everybody is equal.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's equal in their rights, but not everybody's obviously equal in their, what they have. Like, I grew up in a double wide trailer. He grew up in Boca Raton, so, we didn't grow up equal. We're both white. I mean, he's a Jew, so that's probably why he grew up in Boca Raton. But so we're not equal in what we possess as we start always, but we are equal in what we're allowed to do, our opportunity.
Can I ask you, Do you think that there's any law that allows me to do something that you can't do, for example?
I don't think there's any laws that say that you can do something that I can't. But then again, this system can't be ignored. Like, we can't just say it does not exist because there are countless examples of it existing.
Maybe just one example of what you're talking about. So what's wrong with the system that allows, I guess, racism to be systemic or institutionalized?
I mean, I would argue the opposite. Like, again, we have civil rights acts on top of civil rights acts, in addition to the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. 14th Amendment being written for the sole purpose of expanding and equalizing the rights of white people and black people.
Now, you can clearly see in this clip and hear them saying that they believe all people are equal. That's not racist. But for some reason, too many black people hear what they want to hear. They twist words, they invent meanings, and they treat their own assumptions as facts. It is disgusting, and it shows a refusal to engage in real dialogue. And I'll tell you what I respect about white conservatives, especially white conservatives like Charlie Kirk. He saw a problem in his culture, and he did something about it. He went from school to school, campus to campus, trying to change the mindset of young people. And now you can see young people stepping up and doing the exact same thing. That deserves applause. That deserves respect. And we need to see more of that coming out of the black community. We need to care about what we're doing in the black community, because meanwhile, you don't see black people going school to school trying to change their community. Instead, you see this. You see anger, chaos, dysfunction. Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip. Take a listen.
Come on, really? Seriously? Yo.
Oh, you better not, boy! You better not!
Okay.
You better not!
Guys, we're literally just here to have civil discussions.
We're gonna do like a little end live pre-game or post-game situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We've got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck? Oh my gosh.
Now, you would have thought that they were in somebody's hood or something with how these kids are behaving. And the fact that there are adults who think that this is okay and just allowing this is absolutely crazy. And then you got them waving BLM signs, like BLM have not already scammed the black community enough. They raised all this money and it just disappeared. Not $1 went to rebuild the black community. And black people are just okay with that. The thing is, black people never hold their own people accountable. That's why the black community keeps getting worse and worse and worse, because we refuse to point the finger at the people who are actually doing the thing. And honestly, I think all of these kids need to be taken out of these black colleges because they're not learning anything. They're not even being taught how to debate their ideas. If you can't shut somebody's argument down with logic, then you have already lost. And instead of learning how to think, they fall back on anger, hate, and screaming and yelling. And that is the problem. And let's just call it what it is. It is racist, okay? I'm calling these kids racist because these students came to engage in dialogue, but black people didn't want to talk. They wanted to play victim. They didn't want to reason. They wanted to fight. And of course, the NAACP swoops in, and as they always do, to tell black people that they are the victims, that they are not wrong, and even to claim that these students were inciting violence just because they don't believe in DEI. Newsflash, they have a right to believe in whatever they want to. That is not violence. That is called free thought. Absolutely disgusting from the NAACP, which is no different from BLM. I'm probably going to dig deep into them at some point because let's be clear, this is not okay. The NAACP does nothing for the black community. They only show up in moments like these to pat you on the back for the dysfunction and reinforce stigmas because it actually benefits them. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry that I have to be the one to say this. These narratives benefit them. The more you're stuck in this white versus black mentality, the more they profit off of your anger and your confusion. White people do not hate black people. White people want black people to get their act together, just like I do. And at the end of the day, we have to stop with this us versus them mentality or our country will fall. Now, of course, the Black community like to have people like Plies represent them, so we're going to go ahead and take a listen to what Plies had to say. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
I'm so sick of you motherfuckers ain't know what to do. Listen, I just watched a little video with the two little motherfucking white boys with the red hats on and all this going on Tennessee State campus. This the only question I got for y'all. Why is y'all always fucking with us? We ain't fall, man. Leave us the fuck alone. Leave us the alone. Y'all always come fucking with us. For no reason. None. I'm not going over that motherfucking Ku Klux Klan. I ain't going over there right now with a mother Black Panther hat on and telling them Ku Klux Klan, let's talk. I don't want to talk to them Ku Klux Klan. Y'all always come fucking with us, man. Leave us the alone.
Now, Plies, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but having an open dialogue is not hurting anybody. Debates are optional. Nobody forces you into it. If you don't want to engage, you can walk away. But instead, what we see is the same pattern. Black people playing victim, the didn't do nothing crew, always innocent, never accountable. Meanwhile, the real issues here isn't words. It is the fact that only about 10% of these students will graduate in 4 years. That's the conversation nobody wants to have. Instead, it's always easier to cry about the white man, the boogeyman. It is disgusting. And it isn't just Plies. Now, of course, Roland Martin is another one who represents the Black community. And they got love for him. So let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say.
Kirk being killed, HBCUs were targeted with bomb threats. Now, a MAGA hate group decides to go to Tennessee State University. They call themselves the Freedom Tour. And what they do, they go, Fearless Tour, they go to these college campuses. Now, here's the deal. They showed up at Tennessee State uninvited, did not seek permission, and set up their table. And the whole point, this is what the whole point was. You see right here, DEI should be legal, deport all illegals now. Then they got upset because students grabbed their signs and tossed them. And then, of course, they were escorted off campus by security. I'm a Texas A&M graduate. And even though I'm a graduate, if I decided to roll up at Texas A&M, set up a table in front of the Memorial Student Center, and I have language that probably white students there would disagree with, don't you know I'm going to be approached and told, I'm sorry, who are you? Are you authorized to be here? These individuals were not authorized. So why do they do this? To get exactly what they got. Their whole goal was to go viral. Their whole goal was to say, oh, look at these folks. They're protesting MAGA. This is ridiculous. And they've been on social media trashing HBCUs, talking about graduation rates, all those things. That's what their goal is. And so let me be real clear. You're going to see this happen again. Because, see, these right-wing influencers, okay, what they're going to do is, in the mold of Charlie Kirk, they are going to target other HBCUs. I'm telling you right now.
So obviously, Roland Martin is an idiot. He's going to sit up here and say that these kids are a hate group when nothing they said was hateful. And yet, apparently, everyone's equal is terrorism now. Amazing. And once again, it is the same exact script. Black people are always perpetual victims. I am sick and tired of it. Nobody is doing anything to the Black community. White people have a right to show up and have an open debate and say what they believe. And Black people need to get over it, period. This constant victim mentality is exactly why the Black community stays stuck. Instead of focusing on reality, they're crying racism every 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Black people don't like Hispanics. They don't like whites. They don't like Caribbeans, Jamaicans, Africans, Arabs, Chinese. Literally, everybody is the enemy. And if this behavior keeps up, to be clear, eventually all of those groups are going to team up against Black people, and it is not going to be pretty. The behavior is disgusting. The logic is dumb. And quite frankly, it is dragging the Black community down. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Donald Trump just recently gave $500 million to HBCUs. $500 million with a B. And this is the repayment. They still hate him. No matter what Donald Trump does for Black people, no matter what white people do for Black people, the hate will always remain. Always. And to be honest, it is outrageous. And you have so many Black people who actually support this behavior, who encourages it. And yet when I speak up about it, when I say pure common sense, I get attacked. I get attacked because I can see that long term, this mindset is not going to be good for the Black community. But they do not want to listen. They do not want to face it. And the reality is Black people refuse to engage in dialogue. Even with me, they won't debate me on my ideas. Instead, they'll just throw out the same old tired insults. Call me a coon, call me an anti-Black. That's their argument. That's their response. And that right there is the problem with the Black community. They are not in control of their community. I don't care if they're educated. I don't care if they're the bottom of the barrel. I don't care if they're celebrities. Across the board, unfortunately, Black people just do not think for themselves. Someone has to do the thinking for the Black community. And what makes this whole thing even funnier is they're shouting about diversity, equity, and inclusion at one of the least diverse colleges out there. This place is 70-something% Black. Where is the diversity? Where is the equity? Where's the inclusion? Black people are 13% of this country. Okay, so tell me where's the diversity at this college? You don't see it because it's not about diversity. And if these colleges ever actually became diverse, if more white people start showing up and even outnumbering them, you know what would happen? Black people would complain. They'd say that they're being pushed out. They would cry racism, and they would scream that it is unfair. Because the truth is, it is not about diversity. It is not about equity or inclusion. What it's really about is supremacy, Black supremacy. And that's what they're pushing. And nobody wants to say it. Black people don't even know what they're following because, like I said earlier, they are not thinking for themselves. So this is what we're stuck with. Look, Black people, y'all need to get y'all shit together. I am so tired of saying this over and over and over again and watching it fall on deaf ears. Our country is at a breaking point. We don't have the time to be obsessed with race issues, while everything else is collapsing around us. If we're going to keep letting this go the way it's going, this will be the demise of our country. And no, that is not me saying white people are perfect. White people aren't perfect, but as a group, we are doing far less, far worse than any other demographic in this country. We need to stop being so hateful towards white people. White people are not our enemies. Stop letting people like Roland Martin, Plies, the NAACP, or even your college professors tell you otherwise. Go find out who your real enemy is, because it is not a white kid across from you trying to have a conversation. It is people profiting off your anger, your confusion, and your dysfunction. This victim culture is a scam, okay? It keeps you weak and it keeps you distracted and it keeps the same leaders rich. Meanwhile, you're the ones drowning. And if you don't wake up, every group you've been taught to hate is going to turn its back on you because nobody is going to keep tolerating the chaos forever. So to be clear, this episode isn't about bashing Black people for a sport. It's about accountability. Because you can't demand respect, progress, and power while acting like victims and throwing tantrums at college debates. If you can't debate your ideas with logic, you have already lost. Our future depends on breaking out of this us versus them mentality. Start thinking for yourself, start holding your people accountable, and stop letting the same old tired hustlers use you as pawns. All right, guys, I'm going to get into some of you guys' comments. Min Pao says, thanks. Thank you, Min Pao. I really appreciate you. JJ says, thanks. Thank you, JJ. I really appreciate you. You're always supporting the channel. Marcus Daniel says, thank you. You are awesome. Thank you, Marcus Daniel. You as well are always supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. Cosmic Ray doesn't say anything, but left a generous donation. So thank you so much, Cosmic Ray. Reed Brody says, hi, Carmen. I enjoy your YouTube channel very much. Regards, Reed. I really appreciate you, Reed. Shar and David says, wonderful and enlightened podcast about Obama. Hope to see more of this sort of commentary. I really appreciate that, Shar and David. I really do enjoy doing deep dives, so you will see more of that coming soon. Jay Will says, thoughtful videos. Years ago, Teddy Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson stated that their dislike of hyphenated Americans, preferring we just call ourselves Americans. Maybe we can reboot that idea. I really think that that is an awesome idea. I think that there shouldn't be a distinction. We should just, like they say, all be just Americans. That's what we are. We're all Americans. Thank you guys so much. That's all I have for you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys so much. I am Carmen JC. If you got something out of this episode, make sure you hit the like or the subscribe button. Or if you want to support the channel, hit the super thanks or the buy me a coffee link below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.
Conscious culture, we awaken and we learn. Fire in our spirits, watch the system as it burns. Question every lesson, let the real truth return. We break the mold, and now it's our turn.